Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League, Season 17, Week 7. It's Hollywood's last ride.
5 seconds remaining.
Last time, Cobbless thought picking Troll Warlord when he hadn't banned the Viper yet was a good idea. Let's see what happens this time.
Radiant team bad.
Yeah, let's see if draft changes at all.
I mean it better. Last time it was pretty bad for Cobbless. Oh, me immortal friend said it was good. He said that one was going to work out.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, not even close.
That's what he sounds like. He's like Scrooge McDuck.
Dire team bad.
I cannot believe my Zeus before finally got countered, laddie.
10 seconds remaining.
It's fucked up.
5 seconds remaining.
That's what he really sounds like, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Radiant team bad.
Both teams just, oh no, banning the Life Stealer really early this time. Do they think Lahiha is a one-hero wonder? I mean, he can't pick himself heroes worth a damn, but he can play heroes in a good matchup worth a damn. I would not discount him just because he couldn't ball with Troll Warlord in a game where nobody could ball with Troll Warlord.
Yeah, I mean, his basics seem good.
I mean, he
Like
won
his
the
last
lane
one
in
was
spite
good.
of it. Oh, look, the Viper got banned this time.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
How can I play against this bleeding Viper again? In fairness, don't ban the Viper first phase, like ever. It is one of the most easily countered heroes in all of Dota 2. Just counterpick it if they pick it first.
Radiant team pick.
If only it was that easy.
It is that easy. I mean, it is one of those heroes where it's like, even if you totally suck at the counters to Viper, you still make him, like, unplayable. You know, there are some heroes where it's like, you know, Timbersaw, for example. No, he's a bad example. Let's say DP, right? There are some heroes that make, like, Death Prophet have a really hard game, but there are almost no heroes that make Death Prophet have no game. There are a lot of heroes that make Viper have no game. Now, a counterpick is risky when you're counterpicking something that will have a bad game, but it is easy and free if you're counterpicking against something that's going to have no game. I mean, like, you know, in particular, Drow Ranger is a hero that makes Viper have absolutely no game. Just, you know, makes him big, green, and dead. Any kind of, like, non-passive based physical damage hero is going to shred him. In particular, Spectre. Even though she does have a passive, is still going to be doing a lot of her damage just with the actual hero. Arc Warden is going to be doing a lot of damage. I don't think there's any Arc Warden players out there on Team Tiger, but you never know. Lone Druid, ditto both of those ways.
Dire team bad.
That sort of thing. There are many heroes, many heroes that, like, prevent Viper from being able to do anything in the game except die.
I mean, a lot of it has to do with physical burst, right?
Yeah, anything that does physical burst, anything that does an easy early game silence, anything that does an easy early game break. Rubik, in particular, is like a nasty one for him because he can turn around the Viper Strike, which is like nightmarish for the guy himself. You know, he's secretly not tanky, is the thing about Viper, right? He's an agi hero, and he has a passive that's supposed to make him tanky, but the reality is he's tanky exclusively from magic damage. Anything else will melt him. He has very little armor, his HP pool is not very good, and he never addresses either of those things, unless he gets a Scotty, which is a load of money, and not something that you're going to be able to easily do in a down game. So, like, you know, you pick up a sniper. You pick up a silencer. You pick up an Enigma, one of Cobbless's favorite heroes. You put that guy in a black hole, he's never coming out of it. Can't stop it in any reliable, meaningful way.
10 seconds remaining.
You don't want to see the Night Stalker again.
I don't blame them.
MJ did have a good game
He did.
last game. Oh, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I feel like, really, genuinely, and again, I'm going to be talking a bit more about this later on. This is a bit unfortunate for the guy. Seems like we've seen Majwani have good games on 2 heroes, and they let one of those 2 heroes through last game. They've also let one of those 2 heroes through this game. So, will remain to be seen if they fall into that particular trap. I will say this, I would be very happy to see it here. I would be very happy to see the other hero that Majwani has had success with. In fairness, on the old version of this team, on last season's version, but I would be happy to see that hero. Does well against both of these guys, and is a soft ban for a lot of pause ones. You know who I'm thinking of?
5 seconds remaining.
I've been
in
trying to
particular,
figure it out. Yeah,
super
yeah.
duper baller combo with Rubik. One of the best offlane combos in the game, in my money. You want a hint?
Yeah.
He's really ugly.
Team pick.
Oh, oof. It doesn't really narrow it down.
Like, really ugly. You want another hint?
10 seconds.
They wrote a bunch of
No.
lore stuff about him and LC, and then never did anything with it after they wrote it, basically, aside from like 2 response lines.
Yeah, I'm getting nowhere.
You want a third one?
No, just say it.
No, I'm doing this until you guess it, or he picks a hero.
Goodness gracious.
Okay. He's a really big fan of circles.
Circles?
Yeah.
Circles.
Radiant team pick.
It's not
Is it
Omni-Knight.
Omni-Knight?
No,
Oh.
it's Pit Lord.
Oh. Oh, yeah, okay.
Pit Lord is a wonderful complement to Rubik, because you can basically knock off, for anybody who doesn't have BKB, you can knock
10
off
seconds remaining.
so nearly all of their physical damage between the Fate Bolt and the Pit Lord passive. Rubik can throw people back into the Firestorm or Pit of Malice who are about to leave. It's just a wonderful combo. It's very simple, but that doesn't mean it ain't effective, right? It's just a very, very wonderful combo for the two. You know, one of Rubik's biggest problems, that telekinesis is no substitute for a stun unless you time it to throw a guy back into the pit, at which point it basically is a stun, right? Getting that much damage off the enemy P1 makes them completely able to get last hits. And if you're funny with the Pit Lord Express, you can get Rubik to hilarious places to use or get stolen spells. And he's also very, very vulnerable to the types of damage that get fixed if you build auras, which Pit Lord really likes to do. Here comes Ursa.
Lursa.
Ursa into VS? Ursa into Omni-Knight? Really? I mean, he's not bad into Rubik, that's the good news.
10 seconds remaining.
Ursa into VS and Omni-Knight? That's a decent chance that's the offlane.
Is Omni-Knight even that good?
No, but neither is
offlane?
Ursa. And, let me spoil this much for you. You know what Ursa is completely terrible against?
Pure damage?
Fire team
Heroes that stop right clicks from happening, like Omni-Knight. Or getting kited a lot, which VS can
Oh,
very
yeah,
easily
yeah,
do.
okay.
I'll have to follow it up. I like the Quap a lot more. Does a lot of burst damage. Omni-Knight likes
10
long,
seconds remaining.
like drawn out sort of types of damage. Quap
5 seconds
likes to
remaining.
make the battles start and end in like a half a second. That kind of takes a lot of the wind out of the Omni-Knight sails. Also, I can't really do that much about pure damage, so there's also that. But the
Yeah,
Ursa...
Quap is harder to counter though. So
That's true.
I'm liking that a lot better. Like opening up with this, it's very hard to just make it to where Quap doesn't have a lane like last game.
It's true. The Ursa, it's so cringe. I mean, it would be bad enough. Like, there's already a really horrible, almost unplayable hero for the Ursa in the form of the Omni Knight, and you have 2 more picks that they can use to make it even worse. PL does not make things much easier for Ursa. You just go for the Ags build, and you can just kite the guy for your whole life. Now, sure, he's a little vulnerable to Quap for a lot of the game, don't get me wrong. There's going to be a very large amount of this game where Quap is going to be able to just drop on PL's head and eviscerate him. Make no mistake. But that's not going to last forever, and when it's not the case, then PL is going to make this Ursa miserable. Why would you do this to yourself, Lahi? Or, why would you do this to Lahi, Cobliss? Very questionable decision-making.
Yeah, I think that's just still a side effect of picking your one so early. I understand giving last pick to Danny, but
10 seconds
it does make things very awkward.
5 seconds remaining.
Type.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining.
Dusty was sending in complaints.
Dusty?
Yeah. He was complaining about me shitting on the Tiny, and then I told him I have seen Joel play this hero. I've seen Joel win with that hero exactly 0 times before that game, and he has played it many times.
Yeah, I've seen Joel pause 4 Tiny.
There you go.
Haven't seen him mid.
Dire team pick.
There goes the sniper.
Radiant team pick.
Here comes the OD.
Ooh.
So, yeah, that's just a trio of cores, and Ursa is good against 0 of them. Ursa is good against 1 hero on that entire lineup, and it's a support. I don't know about this one. They are pretty vulnerable to an awesome P3 here. And in fact, the Quap is pretty good this game overall. Owns the Omni Knight, should own the OD, really. Should own the PL for a long time, so if Quap does well in the lane, it should be very good. And they have the potential to call in a P3 that can definitely have a very good game.
Choose your hero.
Lina? Huh? What? Huh?
Oh, Lina mid.
Quap 3?
Quap 3.
Not a fan, to be honest with you. I don't know why we're doing that. Like, I'm not a mid player, but surely Quap owns OD, right? Like, okay, let me reiterate. Let me rephrase that. She owns OD after 6, right? Like, she just screams at him and he dies instantly.
Kind of. I don't know. I don't play Quap very often.
Oh, there you go. Do you play OD into Quap?
No.
Okay, so you're no help. Really. Yeah, in my mind, it feels like Quap should just like he's gonna be able to put her in jail a lot. They're both pretty like glass cannony, but when they hit 6, it's a lot easier for Quap to just throw a single dagger at OD and yell at him than it is for OD to drain her entire mana bar and then drop Sanity's Eclipse on her. Which, you know, is an option.
Yeah,
but...
And I think the Quap's going to be better going to... Well, I guess it won't be going to other lanes. It's 3.
Yeah.
So it won't matter. Lina is still a good matchup, though.
Yeah, Lina should do fine. In any case. I feel like... I mean, if they weren't going to run the Pit Lord, surely a Pit Lord here would have been an awesome idea, right? Like, not here. This is the wrong team. Surely a Pit Lord here would have been awesome, right? Like,
Oh, on the Radiant?
yeah, it makes PL, like... It makes PL as much of a non-hero as Ursa is, basically. It makes them both non-factors. And then you can rely on your Quap to deal with the OD, and then everybody else just kind of falls apart. Right? Like... That's what it seems like to me. Might have been banned. I wasn't looking at the bans too closely there. I was just still having my head spin looking at that. I'm not the biggest fan of this weird Quap 3 idea. I don't think it even lanes particularly well into PL. I think you're going to have to spend a lot of mana getting away from him. Basically, just at any given time. And the only real upside you have against him is the ability to scream at illusions.
30 seconds to
Which might be an occasional clear, but you're not worried about the illusions in lane, you're worried about this. And I think she fares poorly against that. She fares poorly against that, and she also fares pretty poorly. Who's with them? Looks like VS again. Also fares fairly poorly against this, and, you know, this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
The battle begins.
I feel like you get a Pit Lord there, and it's just awesome. You don't get a Pit Lord, and it just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really have a front line now.
At least a
Their
Centaur.
front line is Ursa.
At least a Centaur, right? Like, at least with a Centaur, you can speed the Ursa into battles, or out of bad situations.
Yeah. And then a solid blink stun is always good.
Yep. And is still pretty good at a PL. Not as good. You're kind of relying on him doing his own dirty work and not just relying on a cloud of illusions in that way. You're not the worst against a cloud of illusions. I mean, Pit Lord just does both. Just makes the guy not have a game. Just go Pit Lord, bro. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Danny
Yeah,
not
that's one of
happy
the
or what?
biggest-
Look at that. He literally just one use of the PLQ, and
Oof.
she's almost dead just by that alone.
Not like this.
Nope. The Treon Protector's coming in, the last possible second.
Gonna turn it? Gonna turn it?
Yep. The only downside is that Danny can't even
my.
get close to this lane for like a minute and a half. Neil's gonna eat the cool branch. Immediately lose a lot of it to the tree. And that fact does not go away as lane phase goes on. If anything, it arguably gets worse as Treon's ability to damage and heal gets a little bit less relevant over time.
Yeah, the Omni Knight's low health too.
Yeah, if nothing else, at least this lane should do pretty good until level 6. I don't think it does awesome. I think any lane against Ursa where you have the ability to slow and heal and throw him around. Well, that's not it. Throw him around isn't going to be very good, but why are you getting Fable, bro? That doesn't do anything here. He doesn't care about your little weedy damage. She doesn't care about your little weedy damage. Throw guys around, bro.
I think it's less about the damage and more about the damage reduction.
Okay,
Early
so
level.
damage reduce Ursa, who has Fury Swipes.
Well, I don't think he's gonna trade much with Ursa.
Okay, so damage the Enchantress, who can heal herself and enchant you.
I didn't say it was good.
There we go. Oh, Danny finally died. Let's watch that happen.
Uh-oh.
Live.
Probably the
PL
best thing
got
that
it
could
too.
have happened to him. First blood, maybe not. But no return either. Oof.
Yeah, Cobble's very nearly got the return kill there, but got it ripped from his hands at the last second. Like a casual. Oh my god. Okay, which one else are gonna fall? Oh my
no.
god, 10 seconds it feels like to scroll back. Maybe I'm not doing that anymore. Something seems to be a bit unusual about this replay.
Big slow, big slow.
Cubs are orphans now. Ours, not yours.
I don't know, I think you take a point in the W on Omni Knight. Get rid of that slow.
Yeah.
That slow is gonna hurt a lot.
Yeah, probably. Well, what are you gonna do? At least this lane is owning. I mean, it's kind of both safe lanes are owning, but this safe lane owning doesn't matter because this guy doesn't have a game ahead of him, like at all.
Well, I don't know if I would say that the PL is owning. Quap
He's
still
owning
got more
enough.
last hits than
You got first blood. The first blood's worth a lot of last hits, bro.
yeah, I guess.
You may follow that up as well.
Chop down a tree real quick.
Use your W to do this. No. I think he actually kills him there if he just surrounds him with doppelganger illusions. Oh well. Guess he doesn't want to risk it in case something stupid happens. Let's predict the Lena is kind of owning here. Is up 5 last hits, down 2 denies. But OD kind of, well, relatively anyway, low on resources. It is the same low on resources. Creeps are favoring her part of the map right now.
Oh, it's a big debuff on Lena.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my god, hold on. Do I really want to go back though? No. That made me like stop and load for 15 seconds. I'm not really sure how this happened. In my mind it shouldn't. I guess he just stuck around here too long around very low health and mana. Because that VS was not looking so hot when she was down there.
The Omni Knight's low again.
Oh, the hell is he? Oh, he's in base.
Oh, okay. He took that walk.
Helpless.
Oh yeah, that
It's gonna be
scream gets
fine.
rid of the illusions pretty quick. Yeah, whenever I said that the PL doesn't have many last hits, he's gotten one since I said that.
Meanwhile, Earth is doing this.
They're hugging.
Almost accidentally gave up the help here there while he was looking at it.
is under attack.
Okay, how did that happen? Okay, I gotta see that.
PL's got
I-
2 last hits since I said that line.
Once again, these
Yep,
these
thank
guys
you.
on Radiant are not. These guys in this game in general are not doing a great job watching their HP bars. I feel like I've seen several deaths in the last few minutes that are really just down to guy forgets that he has one cast worth of HP left.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, it is cheaper to buy regen, right? Rather than just
Yeah.
die. I would think so, at least.
Mutual support trade generally favors the pause one. Considering the amount of firepower that Matt needed to get that done is a little less nice. Should be a great opportunity for the VS to cardamom some regen to avoid repeating history.
One can hope.
Let's see if she does that. She did buy another set of tangos,
Oh.
so I'd rather see a sab, to be honest with you. Hit Q. Hit Q, my man. You know, even though she screams off the illusion, she can't scream off the damage. It's interesting, the decision to go all in on the Phantom Rush in this lane. I'm sure that's probably what the traditional build is.
It's just a farm, right? Just just going to farming build.
Probably not thinking terribly much about the lane itself as a result.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Ursa died while we're watching this team fight.
has been
Oof.
Team fight while we're watching this particular scrap. Okay.
Goodbye.
Matt needs raindrops or what? Feels like this just keeps happening. Again, it feels like
That was unreal.
that was unreal. It feels like that's an unfortunate consequence again of just, you know, he needs a salve, he gets one tango, he doesn't live. I think being a little conservative on the Q. I mean, he had 2 Qs of mana when he died. Right? Like, yeah, she screams at the illusions, but every time she does, she uses some of her mana. Every time you throw a Q at her, she loses a lot of her HP. Rip VS. This is going way better than it should. I feel like there's some misplay going on in the top lane.
Oh, there definitely is. Because while
Shout
all
out
this is
Matt.
going on, I mean, he's not far behind the Quap now, but the PL has lost a lot of last hits.
Yep, he has hit 6 and he is now tired of this bullshit. He is going to go to the jungle. Something I feel like is kind of a surrender, kind of a defeat, to be honest with you. VS goes bot to try and scream at these guys, tower diving the Omni Knight. They don't get it actually done.
Uh-oh.
Stun the man, okay. Die anyway.
Woof. Now they're gonna hug? Yep.
I think this is just the power of having a very good support line, I think, to a good degree in both of these lanes. This isn't just Matt and the VS guys' defeat. This is good play, in particular on the Treon Protector here. I think this is one of the big upsides you get out of having a very strong support lane. It's like, both of these lanes should really, not this one, both of these lanes should really lose, and neither of them really have. Both of them really have won. They didn't, like, kill, like... Matt's not gone. He's only a couple hundred gold behind the top core on the Radiant. But he ain't doing hot. He ain't where PL wants to be. SOD totally owned, though. If the idea of getting Quap out of mid was to save this matchup, apparently that did not work. Because Lena got shredded here. SOD is picking up a lot of bounty runes. I'm more interested in seeing OD come here to top. We'll salvage when he die again. Okay. Well, his Quap is like super dead.
Okay. I was about to say, it's
Rest
gonna be
in
hard
peace.
getting the blink. The blink target.
And he found the Treon Protector here as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, almost got to put him in jail.
In those trees.
Almost got him again. He keeps getting out of vision, like, the moment. And he gone.
Ooh.
That's embarrassing. Really was no reason for him to be allowed to get out there, but...
The whole time VS was holding the scream? Is that real?
I don't think she was holding it. I think she'd used it
Okay.
on the Quap. Has a decently long cooldown.
Come get healed.
Majwani getting pretty hammered again. Here comes VS. That's the song of the game. Majwani having like not a lane phase at all is sitting here less last worth than the Enchantress.
He didn't get his W. Like
He
I said.
never got his W, no.
He's trying to go damage.
That's not going to work
Losing
against
lane.
the Ursa lane, yeah. It is unfortunate. You know, there was very good play by Max and Cobbles in this lane, but I think unfortunately there was some unfortunate plays to be made by Majwani and Matt.
Uh-oh.
I don't think he's in too much danger here. Okay, tree ult. It's getting worse.
Also?
There's no
Yeah.
friends. Still gets the
Goodbye.
kill on the tree before he dies, which is funny. Where are his friends? Does nobody have a TB scroll? I get the Ursa at least. It's not a fair trade though, because it's a big, stupid, useless bear. It has no future.
Lost MJ there too.
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
Maybe they get this. Maybe they
Dire's
get Max, Maximum, as we like to call him.
Uh,
Maybe they don't even get that. Maybe this VS needs to get level 6.
OD's gonna stick around with no health.
Yeah, he's gonna turn it into ODs in a second here.
Regeneration.
Oh, there we go. That's the hallmark of a good VS player right there. The way this PL is suddenly completely being ignored by the other team is a little worrying. This guy is nearly capable of 1v5ing this game. I think they gotta pay a little bit more attention to him than this. That's a really good swap. Like, yeah, sure, you're owning this team fight. I'm sure that feels really good in the moment, but like, Hollywood, don't forget the pine cone. Hollywood forgot the pine cone. Sure, owning in this fight feels really good, but you're gonna feel really bad if this guy gets to walk out of the jungle with full ags at, 15 minutes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're sending at least a protest up here, but he's got half health and mana, so I don't know how effective this is as a situation.
Yeah. Do not know.
Roar, says Ursa. It's your best Ursa impression.
Hi, I'm Ursa.
It's less funny when I told you to do it last time.
Yeah.
You want to hear my best Ursa impersonation? Oh my god, OD. OD's kind of a nutcase. Great ult from Omni Knight. Pretty good ult from the Trio Protector as well, though.
A lot of good
Doing
ults
a
coming
great
out.
job keeping the OD alive. Oh my god. That was not the greatest ult on the part of Quap. A lot of missed stuns. That's unfortunate. If he hit his magic wand, he could have actually just Sanity's Eclipsed and probably got a triple before he went down. Omni Knight! Get your W! You maniac! Oh my god! There is no limit to the amount that you live there if you have your W. That's crazy talk at this point to not have
What's
your W.
insane is he's going for a damage build with the E. But the W makes the E do more damage.
That it does! Oh my god. Okay, Quap, vulnerable. Quap, swap, but the actual person who's coming to do something about this is a Omni Knight that can't do anything about it.
I mean, he's
Played on the
running
OD.
like he can.
Heal yourself, at least?
W? Oh, no. Oh.
Hammer drops on top of Max's head. There's a 4x kill streak to the OD here. Actually had quite a lot.
Did he even... He didn't hit the Quap with that, right?
He did hit the Quap with it, it just didn't do that
Did it?
much.
Yeah.
Didn't make a route though, so there's that. Biolina exchanging business cards up at top. Ursa got his 16-minute Battle Fury. He is actually
not a
second
bad
place in that
timing.
worth turret.
Battle Fury and Phase Boots.
Mm-hmm.
16. Not bad.
And PL's about to finish his Ags in this camp, so 16-minute Ags on the PL, which is a slightly bigger deal, unfortunately. Again, the unfortunate thing is this PL can kind of 1v5, and there's nobody cares about him. Like, they sent 2 individuals top, and that's it. Nobody's thinking about smoking and coming up here? Okay, somebody's thinking about smoking. And they're in the up here direction, that's the good news. But, like, surely it's time to get aggressive and move on this. Do they not think that the PL Ags is going to sweep this team? But, because, I mean, it's like... Let me lay something down for you guys. You ready? Okay. This guy is squishy and dies in 2 Qs. This guy is squishy and dies in 2 Qs. This guy is squishy and dies in 2 Qs. This guy gets kited really easily, and this has a slow on it. I mean...
But does he die in 2 Qs?
He does not die in 2 Qs. That's the good news.
No.
The bad news is that his entire team will be dead around it. They are going to drop it on poor OD here. Suddenly feeling in a much more constrained spot. Omni Knight is like almost off the board at this point. He is nothing, and he still doesn't have his W.
Yeah, this is looking more like the Hollywood games I'm used to being in.
Yeah.
The three
Much more
cores of
traditional.
the
Tower is
Radiant
under attack.
pulling way ahead.
Yeah, it's a shame that this draft deficit is to the degree that it is. So I'm sitting here looking at this like, man, I don't know if that matters though. This team has a 9k advantage, and I still can't favor them to win in my heart. They just need to get rid. Like, this guy can 1v5. It's as simple as it gets. This guy can 1v5, and he's not even 1,000 gold behind the top core.
Radiant are scanning.
They are starting to try and flush him out now. Actually, only barely missed each other there. Right in the
don't know
VS to
why
try and get
the-
the PL feel more comfortable.
Yeah, the
Yes, looking the wrong way. Nobody ever looks in this camp, VS. I'm always flaming how nobody ever looks in this camp. Somebody is coming this way, guarantee you they're here. It's the only camp people on Radiant know about.
Okay.
Guess what?
Omni Knight. Going
He
for
leveled
Vessel.
up since last time we looked at him.
Oh boy. Gotta
Shoutouts
change
to your chair.
positions in my chair. Yeah.
The
It's just
ladder
falling
chair.
apart.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Cody's here. He only gets asked where he's going. If only there was a dispel for that. You know, this is a basic dispel, I think. All right, yes, this gets rid of that no matter what.
Yeah,
Found
it's
Law
just
up
super
here.
strong.
Found Law up here. They've almost killed him outright.
Attend us.
They're having trouble catching up to these people. They're just flying away at maximum velocity. They found Danny under a sentry ward here. VS can swap. He's choosing not to, though.
Yeah. Oh,
Radiant
They're
going
trying
for
to-
a re-engagement. They've found the OD. My brother in Christ, he
Good
he really just was like, nope, I'm not going to jail. I can tank this row.
oh.
Hollywood,
Nobody
that
saw it.
Hollywood, that was like this guy's name without the L and the punctuation.
Oh god.
Look what you've done, Hollywood!
You woke
Look
up
what
the
you
baby.
did!
Jeez.
There. Wow. Perhaps not the trio they were hoping for here. Tree ults the solo PL. PL kills the two people here. This team has a 9k net worth advantage.
Yeah, it's looking good.
PL now, first place on the net worth chart with that kill on Lena. And Tree was decently high value too. I mean, Tree has more money than his Omni Knight, so. Diffie is now out, which is going to make Radiant disengagement even harder, and is going to be another little slow for Ursa to have to worry about. Majwani has
Oh my god.
he backraked the Hellbear there, and he is still vehemently opposed to getting a single level of his W.
Bro.
Only 2 more levels, okay? Only 2 more levels until he has no longer got even any choice.
gonna
Oh my
level
god, look at
that.
Danny die!
Oh.
The most desperate Quap ult ever.
Solo kill.
It's actually quite risky. It was high risk there of losing that to the Rubik and making
Yeah.
this bad fight go even worse, but hard to imagine it goes much worse than 0-3.
Radiant's
Again, just
The hell?
just a few minutes ago, this team had a 10k net worth advantage, right? Like, this is going really bad, really fast. 3,000 gold passes into the hands of the Dire for that. At the very least, they didn't lose Ursa. I don't know how much of a compensation that is, but they didn't lose Ursa.
Yeah, Ursa's keeping up.
Yep. Doing a very good job farming up here. If he was like not Ursa, then this would be really scary actually.
Ursa going for the BKB. Is it a better choice this game?
Yeah. Still doesn't deal with the swap, but it makes OD not a hero, makes Rubik not a hero. Still a bad Ursa game.
Goodbye.
That problem is sadly not solved. Somebody's like LARPing. What the hell?
Goodbye.
Somebody's like,
Okay.
somebody's like pretending to be the Enchantress there. 4-for-1 trade.
God.
As everyone just kind of gets caught here. Just sitting in the middle of enemy territory. Ursa finally shows up there. And nobody really pays any attention to him until everybody's already dead. You know, also, of course, throwing out tons of damage there. So it definitely shows that the way these guys are structuring fights, he's got his trait. It's okay, he's gonna get it next level, I promise!
He's gonna level stats.
He would never do such a thing.
On a positive note, the Omni is now above the enemy supports
That's
in
true.
net worth.
And now he's
And
fast
he's
as
running
fuck.
really fast. Yeah, yeah.
Radiant
So-
are scanning.
Soon he'll have most of his Echo Saber.
You need a little soundboard button that plays the Sonic theme song whenever somebody picks up a haste.
The Sonic theme song, how does that go again?
I don't know.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Hi, I'm Sonic.
Yeah, it goes, "Hi, I'm Sonic. This is my game." This is an awkward little scenario here with these supports. Hollywood just deep in the trees.
Accomplice scouting for no one.
He's scouting for US Danny, his best friend in the whole wide world. And he almost got found here by the PL. Ursa's eagerly going headlong into this. I don't know if he really should be. He is really low comparatively on the manpower. Yeah, I think he realizes the issue with this game plan here. So Dyer kind of ignored that. I feel like if everybody on Dyer just closed on Ursa there instead of like running around in the jungle, that guy like double dies very easily.
Radiant are scanning.
I don't know exactly what they're afraid of. Does this, Lena does have travels, so if they don't clean up the ways, and she would be able to TP up there at least, but like, you know, that's quite an assumption we're making here, isn't it? This team can't clean up the ways with the PL, with the Ags, I don't know. It feels like they could probably get away with that. He has his Manta now as well.
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
Lena has her Shard, also has a DD in her
Dyer's
pocket
structures
here.
are fortified.
Shard and Maelstrom.
Yeah.
And Shadow
Trying to
Blade as
take
well.
a P2. The whole team's going up there. Stop.
Dire
Knock, knock.
are scanning. Dyer's top tower is under
Nobody cares? This is an interesting... Okay.
Yeah. And they're not
Nobody
even pushing
cares.
Dyer's top tower has fallen.
What the fuck?
Dyer's structures are fortified.
Hey, look at that!
Oh
Is
no.
under attack.
He got his W. He didn't level the stats.
Maybe he should have used W before he let that creep stun him.
Maybe.
And they're still not pushing this T2 down here. They're all just close for no reason.
Dyer's middle
This is one of these farming Aegises, but like for their team.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Don't
attack.
understand.
Dyer's middle
They
tower
gave up
has
2
fallen.
T2s
For nothing, yes.
for nothing.
For some time to farm on PL in fairness, which isn't nothing.
Who turned up?
It's a lot of things lost for very little. This is not the guy who should be going first here. Like you know it's Quap, like you know she's gonna blink. right? Like, VS is not even
Oh,
thinking
he
about
blinked.
this. VS could
He
not
blinked,
care less.
dub.
This guy is so dead! Somebody do something! It was a stun! Now you're just getting gone on!
Where are you going?
No.
He
Holy
didn't use
crap!
the W.
How much nothing can one team do?
You're just letting them.
So it's very low here. Likely going to take his first death. No, he's not.
Yikes.
Wow! On a very, I hate to say this, but a very poorly played sequence of events for the Dire here. Who really do just let Radiant, like, walk all over them. These guys have never been more scared in their lives with so little. All that needs to
Yeah.
happen to, like, beat this team in a team fight is, like, everybody goes in at the same time. Like, if 5 guys right-click the 5 Radiant guys, there's an approximately 0% chance the Radiant wins the fight to follow.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
But maybe because of that fight at bot that they took poorly, like, for all other reasons.
Has fallen.
They're terrified of the very prospect.
Top barracks are under attack. Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Yeah, I think that's been a big problem all season, actually.
Like, look at this! Look at how quick Ursa went from full to, like, almost dead. They're having to get out of this base here, and PL's not even up. Agents just expired at a super awkward time, but they did not realize this and are not going to pursue. Like, that is, like, what is needed here. We don't need, like, the OD and then Omni Knight and the VS to all be right-clicking Mountain or right-clicking Jungle Creeps, right? Close spare, man. Then he gets tipped.
No all chat, please.
True.
I will rip you apart.
That's a good arcane rune line for Ursa. I'm surprised he has one that's not just ha 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 or something. Heal somebody. Use a spell. Okay. Oh my god, I was
I
about
don't know
to.
if that's the spell.
I was
It's not
about to.
physical damage, is it?
No, it's not. I was about to throw Majwani off a cliff. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if this Majwani Omni Knight is doing it for me.
Yeah. I don't know.
Feels like he has a very hard... I feel like he's basically picked Omni Knight to do this over and over, and it's just not the reason he picked this hero. Like, this is awesome. Make no mistake. But this, and this are way more important. Those 3 skills enable you to use this one. If you don't use these skills well, you can't use this skill well. It's just as simple as that. This should be an awesome Omni Knight game. You should be bombing a lot of people with pure damage in this game. You should be making Ursa have no game at all with your ult in this game. What's actually happened is that you're dying alone with no friends and no family. Very similar to certain players on this team in their real life. And you're getting nothing accomplished in the meantime. You cannot be playing like this on the Omni Knight if you want to, like, win games, you know?
Yeah, the few times I've played Omni mid, I don't think the heal isn't even that good, is it?
The heal isn't, like, great. It's very nice to have. The important thing is 300 pure damage nuke is a very nice thing to have when you're being offensive.
Yeah, even offensive mid, it was max out the hammer and then throw the rest into the purify thing. Nothing in Q.
Purification is the Q for the record. The W is repel.
Repel, that's what I meant.
Ursa, well, that would have been an awesome play against the Ursa had he
Oh no.
had he not been ulting and had anyone else been there. Feels like this feels like one of those early era code line games where I'm looking here and I'm like, Nobody should ever be losing with this team comp. 10 gray blobs are going to, like, the Dire wins this game like 75% of the time. But the execution factor on Dire is just letting them down so badly. At least this randomly killed tree on the sidelines.
What's the KDA for the Quap? Over over.
13-3. Absolutely no reason for this to even look kind of like this.
That's insane.
Going for the halberd here. You're not dying to fizz damage, my friend. In fact, in that last fight, you died while you were in your ult. Don't go halberd. I promise it doesn't do anything. It's a bad item anyway right now, but don't go halberd in this game, Majwendi.
I don't even know if the echo's good.
Healing shock.
I mean, not really.
'Cause you don't really... You want to be up there, but you don't really want to be melee range. I don't think.
I mean, you want to be beating people with pause 3 Omni Knight. It's like, you know, you usually go for this. You harpoon people, you cast this from long range, harpoon them in, drop the purification ball on them, then start whacking. Is a typical way you run that.
Right.
The halberd in this game does actually literally nothing. Like, if you wanna get an item that, like, tangibly does things, I mean, as I say a lot, one easy one: don't reinvent the wheel. Go for the Veil of Discord. The armor will help you against Selena's right click, and the Veil will help everybody do a lot more damage. You know, you can drop Veil in the middle of everybody, and you're helping the PLQ. You're helping the OD everything, right? Team's damage output is spiking dramatically, and you're not dying anywhere near as fast. Okay, PL. Bit of an awkward spot here. Trying to dodge around everything the Ursa's bringing. The actual, okay, BS trolling her team here. The actual PL is, like, sitting there invisible in that fight for a minute. We do actually get the boy who cried Smurf. The US Danny ult comes out. Okay, never mind. This is, in fact, an unlosable draft. Wow. This Matt almost legitimately 1v5s there. OD was not even present in that fight. OD was not even present in that fight.
God damn. Yeah, I don't want to keep picking on MJ here, but he got ran out of that fight by the Enchantress creep.
I want to keep picking on them. That's why we're going to be doing a post-season rundown for these guys. I mean, they're dead either way. They're dead if they 2-0, which is funny.
Oh,
if they 2-0, it means that 2 out of the 3 guys who were doomed on the bracket were going to 2-0. If only Lone Wolf, not Lone Wolf, if only Line also 2-0'd this week, then it would be really funny. Like, every off-bracket team 2-0's an on-bracket team this week.
That would be funny.
Makes Reedy cry. But, oh my god! That's a pretty funny skill to steal as Rubik. Roar!
Look at that bonus move speed from the W.
Harder to Raskout now on the PL is going to make him a bastard to deal with. Also has an Orchid. It's another OD. OD! Rubik just stole Laguna though. Don't, yeah, like, this is, if you're Radiant, or if you're Dire, don't run away. You still are up. He was not in the last fight. Just recall that. He was not in the last fight, and they still took 5 for nothing.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And they're just giving up.
This is a heartbreaker. Yep, they are letting the Roche go. This is a heartbreaker. Like, that random ultra kill from the PL somehow wasn't a rampage. Made this game feel like super unwinnable for the Radiant, even though the execution factor was so massively tilted in their favor. Like, Mac and cheese in this game has done everything wrong and might taste success despite that.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, kind of awkward.
They're getting almost legitimately 1v5'd. It's messed up. Not to say that these guys are doing literally nothing. Of course, the Wave of Terror and the VS Vengeance Aura are big helps in these fights. And Omni Knight was in fact soaking up a lot of damage, and even if he wasn't doing much in return, he was getting everybody to beat him up like a big holy pinata there in the middle of that fight, and that definitely also helped. He wasn't doing any damage. There's one guy doing damage, and he still won the 1v5, you know? Rissa running around here with this Invis rune. It's about to walk into a sentry. I don't know if it matters much, though.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Steam is
PL is not
literally
there.
100% PL by volume. Like, this guy is their entire team.
They could
Where's the
definitely be defending
VS?
it. That Ursa is up so far.
Yeah, nobody capitalized on that. It's a bit awkward.
With all
Feels
the
like
items PL has, he should
like-
just be running into everything.
Swap and put him in jail, right? Till the PL gets there? That seems like the play to me.
Fight over waves? Yep.
Roar!
It's kind of funny, playing in the games like this, it feels like the right choice to be kind of defensive. What the? But then
Ripping his
watch
AFK
it,
fountain.
you know, watching it with you, and it really does feel bad.
Imagine an entire season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a minute, I was thinking Randy's just kind of complaining about nothing. And you. But yeah. This is awkward, to say the least.
That's at 25. Has his 200% critical, his 24% rather critical strike. 200% critical strike would be slightly insane.
Slightly, yeah.
They have gotten the swap here on the Lena, who's just super dead. Didn't even get to eat the cheese. Didn't have a hope in hell of eating the cheese.
Solo kill.
It's true. I thought that guy was in the fountain. What happened? Somebody kill the banner creep! It gives everybody money! Okay. I'm losing my mind. This is the last group stage game. This entire season, you know. This is the last one. I assume the
yeah.
bracket games are probably not going to be this nuts. Even if there are, well, hell, there's only 4 of them week 1, 2 of them week 2. I'm going to do one of those live both weeks, so. We're
I
almost
guess
free.
Finals is easy for you.
Yeah, finals is super easy. Very little recording to do on finals week. I have this funny feeling I might be dicking with the All-Star game again. Last season, Barrel Rider was supposed to dick with the All-Star game, and he did the farthest thing from that. He did everything about the All-Star game, except set up the right poll for it to begin with, set up the actual... Like make sure everybody was actually clear for game time, make sure stand-ins were in place if there weren't, make sure celebrities were in place for the celebrity game. Make there actually be like a thread for the All-Star game where everybody involved was going to, you know, be present. And have some kind of stream set up when I wasn't going to be there for game 1. But besides all that, he did really awesome. I'm not salty at all, Barrel. You dick.
Oh boy.
Or maybe Hollywood will just do it again. Hollywood's had some cringe All-Star game seasons, but never anything that bad. Bro, what's
Not
with this
again.
guy?
He fell asleep, I guess.
We went a minute further, and he's gone again. VS reconnects. How does this all even happen? Where is she? I guess she travels to this wave. Gwar, says Kyle Plus. What's your favorite Gwar song, Carp?
Oh, it's that one that's like,
Yeah?
I think it's called Down the Street. Remember
Yeah,
that
yeah. How's that go again? I forgot.
one? They're talking about a dog walking down the street. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Dog's just trying to get some poon or something like that. I think those were the lyrics.
You know, it sounds like a very innocent song until he starts talking about getting some poon.
Dog's gotta do what a dog's gotta do.
Like, until the dogs go for some poon, that could be like the Arthur theme. The good news is VS feels better already. The bad news is God Likes Matt's courier is now dead. At least these two got to face each other in lane. I think this is the only time we'll ever see Matt and Danny lane against each other. Not that they have a history or anything. Okay, bye-bye, Lena. Jesus Christ. Again, died without being able to eat the cheese. That's a nully, which is interesting.
Yeah. The Bloodthorn on the PL's really gonna hurt.
The nully is a good idea, but I feel like this Omni Knight is so, sorry Majwani, so irrelevant to how this game's going. It feels really bad to endorse it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's great that if worse comes to worse, you can deal with that, but it's like, it's kind of like one fight, it feels like, where it's mattered at all. I don't know. And when hit the tower, there we go. Here comes Ursa, there goes Ursa. Ursa is here, whether he likes it or not. Great trio! Great trio! But the Ursa is still dead, though. It's just too bad of an Ursa game. The friends are all coming back in. Any buybacks? No, she's gonna base race this. I bet she wins.
Yikes.
They actually do have to get back and address this because they don't have any lanes that are even close anymore. Oh, goodbye, Quap. What a way to go. They didn't even need to send 2 people out, wow. A little low. Being pretty eager to go find him. Real Lena is here. Lena finally gets to eat the cheese. She's just nothing anyway. Quap is finally here on the scene. Oh man. Oh, this looks so bad. They can't do anything. They just can't do anything. Like, the Lena is just so far gone. It really is just deja vu and nightmare come true. It's everything I thought this game was going to be and more.
Yep.
It really looked like, despite everything, they were actually going to win it for a minute. But it really was just, Danny, you bum. Betch. It's not very nice.
No, I'll chat.
Despite everything, my Lena's build XD. Not nice. Your Lena's build like that means anything here. Your Lena's build like she could have bought God's. Okay, good trio. Met with another nice swap. Swaps the PL illusion. My VS griefing. That's the ball game. 2-0 for mac and cheese. The 1 week Carp doesn't make it. Cringe.
And I reiterate, all they needed was not me.
All they needed was not you. All they needed was for Cobblers to just draft 2 unwinnable drafts. I mean, that's just as simple as it gets. I'll be honest enough to say a melee creep playing at mid in this game. Okay, not a melee creep, the hero, but like, I don't know. You could have like, you could have Chat GPT sending instructions to a mouse playing this game. You could have Rev Fine Sauce Rev running this OD with his steering wheel this game, and he's gonna win. This is a horrible, horrible lineup for poor Copless. Something about BlackOtter being gone just makes this guy draft cringe. I don't know what it is. The sad thing is, and actually, speaking of your old team, your old running mates, your old stable,
Yeah.
this actually does remind me a lot of those EDNH games, where it's like, generally, for the vast majority of this game until the last few minutes, it felt like Mac and Cheese was getting dramatically outplayed. It felt like the Omni Knight was just doing, like, if Omni Knight did one right thing, it was an accident. He just could not like get his footing anywhere. He was just doing the wrong thing every time he was doing anything. The VS got almost trollish. The OD just kept getting picked alone. Felt like everything that could go wrong was, and the PL just started to die a couple of times, and it was just starting to look really bad. But the problem is, it really did just take like one fight where PL doesn't die immediately, is literally all it takes, and the guy 1v5'd, and they just never killed him again. They never did half his HP bar again, you know? Like, it just got so bad so fast. They just had these, you know, three of their heroes were so squishy that the PLQ just shredded them. We saw Danny with this massive KDA with his fat stacks show up to these last couple of fights and die in like a second flat. He just has to retreat immediately because he's just way too squishy against this lineup. The Lena is just getting shredded before she does anything. The Ursa is just getting kited around. The Enchantress is just, shredded. She's a support anyway, not like it matters. The only guy who's not dying in a second flat is the tree, for God's sake. What does that mean? And I just can't help but think, at the end of this game, if they had just picked if they had just picked a real pause 3, if they had just picked US Danny the Pit Lord instead of the Quap here, they just win this game, right? Like, if PL can't just win the game for them, surely it's just over, right? Like,
Yeah.
and you can make
Just
PL
too
not a
many
hero
squishes
so easily.
on one team. Yeah.
If PL can't just solo win, everybody else is getting annihilated. You know, what? I don't know. I don't know. But either way, despite their 2-0, it's time to do the postseason rundown on Mac and Cheese, with Carp right here in the call, just to make things awkward.
Here we go.
I'll let you talk about the order that I'll be doing them in.
What does that mean?
Who am I doing first? Who am I talking about first?
Flamin' first?
Yeah.
Let's go with me. Let's get that out of the way.
Well, before I tend to start with an institution. I feel like Mac and Cheese.
Oh.
I feel like Mac and Cheese was the team everybody thought the Code Line team was this season. To be honest with you, I really do genuinely think that the Code Line team, all things considered, probably ended up just a little bit higher than this because of just how much of a massive drafting disaster it was. Which is kind of unfortunate, but it really does just come down to this. Every single game, no matter what happened, no matter how you shuffle these guys around, you're going to have a dead lane. You have two guys who play the same role at the same level and have no crossover, right? Majwani and Turtles are both pause 3 players that are pretty, like, I think I put Turtles above Majwani, but they're still not, like, super. They weren't really forecasted to win lane against any of the save lanes this season, and they, for the most part, lived up to that. But like neither of them like play support very well. Majwani really does kind of have like one support. It feels like he's running, right? No matter how you swapped things around, no matter what game of shuffle you played, you were always going to have one place where it's like, okay, this is just going to fall apart, and there's nothing you're going to do about it, and that's just that. I think the idea of Matt and Carp on a team is an interesting one. I think that is going to set you up in a lot of games for success from the outset. But the off lane falling apart so bad. It feels like this team never has a 3 and under club, like ever. Even in this series, it feels like it is just Matt and the stand-in both times. All the other games that this team won, it felt like it was just Matt and Carp every time. The matches that were competitive that you lost, it felt like it was Matt and Carp. Like, there was one game where the draft comes out really awesome. You get the Pit Lord, Disruptor, and Rubik, and that's a super combo. Never ran it again, but you know how it goes. But
For sure.
I don't know. I feel like this one was unfortunately snake bit. I feel like I'm sure Hollywood loves Majwani. I'm sure Majwani loves Hollywood. I think maybe it's time for them to get divorced. I think Majwani is better off on a team with like a awesome pause 4 player that can really bring him out, and Hollywood is a pause 4 player that is not bringing that out of him. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to see Majwani here. I think he's got a lot of room for improvement. I don't think he's broken as like a player, right? He's not unable to improve, but I think it's time for these two to get divorced. I think it's time for these two to go their separate ways. I think they're just hurting each other here. I mean, I think the stat sheet of limitations is up to say. I don't think they win last season if Majwani doesn't get stood in for in finals. Like, I mean, it's not often that you say PVC rigs stand in. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I think there's some anti-chemistry with these two. I think it's just not helping their case. Either way, as far as it goes, let's go down the list. You said you wanted you first. Are you ready for you?
Yeah, let's get that out of the way. Yeah.
Okay. Carp, I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm going last with you. Who's really first?
Oh God. Um. Well, since you kind of started on that, let's go with Majwani.
Okay, Majwani. I think the issues that you have Majwani. There was a player who played here a long time ago named the Banana Stand, who well, I've got a funny story about him, and everybody who saw him at the time does too, I guess. But either way, used to be a guy here named Banana Stand who I said was somebody who played like they watched a lot of videos and didn't have a lot of time on the field. And you can always see that where in like I think no maybe 3 places with offlane. Are you ready? One is they lane poorly. Two is they build poorly, and three is they have a hard time keeping track of their own HP bars. Right, both in like in fights and in like the long term. And that's not a knock. Most people are also that way on Boss 3, but that definitely feels like where you're at. It feels like there's a lot of lanes where I'm just looking at this and scratching my head. How the hell is he not winning this in this season? I feel like there's a lot of games where I'm looking at your inventory and throwing up in this season, right? I think a lot of that does come from following builds too closely and trying to get too much from just looking at videos. Pos 3 is not a monkey see, monkey do roll. Not even close to a monkey see, monkey do roll. If you want to learn, if you want to roll where you can just learn what you do from watching videos, Pause 1 and the support line are where you really want to be. Pause 2, maybe you can get away with it, but Pause 3, no. Pause 3, no. I would do some work as far as like researching some of these matchups you go with these core heroes and how they work. Like a more experienced offlaner who has done more learning than watching, right? Who has done more trying to figure out how to play rather than looking up a video of somebody teaching him how to do it, for example, would not make the mistake, I think, of leaving his W off the table so long in this game, right? Like, I wouldn't have done it. If I was in this game, if I was you, I wouldn't have done it. Warcarp's not a 3 player, he wouldn't have done it, like, but that's what the build says, that's what you're doing. I don't know. Break free from the builds, break free from the doctrine, start like researching, make your own. Especially at your MMR, you are more than able to just cook up some dumb shit and have it work, right? Like, you can cook. Who's next?
Just to throw in my 2 cents.
Okay.
For almost everyone on my team, one of my biggest complaints was
We'll get to that. We'll get to that at the end if you're talking about everyone.
This goes with MJ the most. His last hitting is not good. And I've said this after multiple games, just showing him. If he starts focusing last hits, it makes his early game better, which is going to make his end game better.
I think a lot of that is just for Pause 3. I think a lot of that is knowing the matchups. It's knowing, it's both having control of your own hero, which is also, something that I touched on there, but is also true. Having full control of your own hero, knowing exactly how much damage you do, or at least having a very good estimate, knowing how much damage the other guys are going to do. Knowing when you can come and be a brute, get all the last hits you want, knowing when you have to use the skills for it, knowing when you have to retreat. The Pit Lord's a good hero to practice that with, because Pit Lord very forgiving as far as trading last hits. Don't use him as a crutch, mind you, for that, but Pit Lord very forgiving with the last hits. Centaur Warrunner, brain dead simple pause 3, pretty good for training your last hits, right? Maybe work on that for that particular factor. But that is, yeah, kind of do what I was talking about with the lane, right? Like the weakness in the lane there, I think is symptomatic of that. Because on pause 3, you need a bigger pool. You're not going to just be the last hit master. It's good to be sharp with them. It's good to be good at last hitting, but you're not going to be born the last hit master on pause 3 because you can't have a shallow pool on pause 3, which is where you really want to have to be awesome at last hits. If you want the shortcut, if you want to know how to do it without just spending your entire life in last hit trainer, know your heroes. Practice with them, do bot matches with them, do like weird builds in the demo hero with them, right? Anyway, that's enough beating up on him. Who's next?
Hollywood.
Mr. Hollywood. So, on one hand, it is definitely commendable. Hollywood this season did not stick to the usual Hollywood trio, right? Usually, for the most part, when we've seen Hollywood in the LD2L since like season 12, since when I got here, pretty much every game that they're available, he is running either the Disruptor, the Marana, or like one additional hero per season, like the Clockwork in seasons 12, 13, like the Undying, like the Rubik, right? This season, it seemed like he was making a very conscious effort to try and get out of that. What I'm going to say is going to sound contradictory, but don't let that be your whole career, right? Don't let that be everything. Don't be afraid to pull out one of the big boys once in a while. I think we saw, one Disruptor the whole season, one Marana? Don't be
One or
afraid to
two.
pull out the big boys once in a while, right? Even if you're trying to learn something else, and that is good, and it is, I think, something you need to do as a player. Well, not need to do, you're gonna live if you don't, but it is the best thing you could do as a player. Being, at least like double it up, right? Have one game where you're trying to do something new and wacky, or at least bring a hero like the Rubik out of the reads you haven't done in a while, and then match that with like one of your classics, especially if you like really need a win, right? You know, it's good that you're learning new, but don't forget the old. What were you gonna say?
Um,
Okay, who's
no.
next?
Yep. Turtles.
You were miscast, my friend. There's just no two ways about it. You shouldn't have been on this team this season, and it's not surprising what happened this season. I guess that's the best way to put it. It is unfortunate. I do think, Turtles' biggest issue as a Dota player in general is that he's very one note. He does that one note really, really, really well. If you want a pause 3 player who's going to be bringing in a bunch of Zoo heroes at a very great value for his MMR, awesome. And, I can understand why he's there. It's definitely probably going to be very hard to climb MMR from with his pool, but in a scenario like LD2L, like that's such an awesome upside. Like how many people in LD2L are playing Beastmaster like besides him? Like Joel and Dusty and like period. How many people are playing Broodmother behind it besides him? Dusty, like
Yeah.
period. If Vex was back, it'd be him too. How many people are running like the Lycan? It used to be just Healy's. Now even he's gone, right? Like PVC would do it too sometimes on 3. Now he's gone, right? Like no
Yeah.
one. That's something nobody. That's a card nobody's got. Even if Lycan's crap right now, it's a card you have. Um, I think it does expose, though, the one note nature does kind of lend himself poorly, unfortunately, to a scenario like this, and it was already bad enough. I think maybe, I don't know, because he grief mad if you're putting Turtles with him. He's already not a 4 player. He's definitely not a 5 player. But you're griefing everybody. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. I would not take this season as a massive reflection on your actual player abilities. If this is not what you want to do, be more vocal about it. You have those sign up sheets for a reason, right? Be like, please don't pick me for support, right? Like, you were allowed to say, maybe we have Majwani go pause for. I don't know. Horribly miscast. Unfortunate season for him. It feels like almost disingenuous to say anything about him as a player. Who's next?
Matt.
God like Matt. Still feels like it's an accurate assessment of his MMR on pause 1. You know, I don't know if this is the dream or if this is a temporary fancy. I mean, hey, if it's temporary, awesome. Like, if he's, you know, if he's a high MMR guy, I am very much in favor. If it's like, if you're too high MMR to be in the LD2L, at least don't be playing your main role, right? Like, if you are basically sandbagged to be in here, then at least don't play the role that you're, like, higher, really, than LD2L MMR on. And he's been running this pause 1 for a while, and I mean, there are some problems with it, most notably just the self-grief with the picks. So often the self-grief with the picks. The PL here is awesome. Make no mistake. It 1v5 to this game, but it feels like there were a lot of games this season where I was saying something to the effect of, it doesn't matter what the rest of this team is able to do if Matt is just on this hero that has no hope. Like, when I think it was the Reedy guys team you guys played when he decided to run the anti-mage in the worst anti-mage game in recorded history and just died a million times and did nothing.
It sounds about right. Yep.
Give us some insider information. What the hell was that?
I don't know. He just likes anti-mage.
There we go.
I think that was a plague for me and him.
Probably.
A lot of times we just picked what we wanted to play rather than what was good for the game.
Yeah,
Or
that
what
was
fitted
probably
other
that was
heroes.
probably true for you as well. But it's like it felt like at the very least, I don't think there was a spot where you were like you picked Invoker, and I was like, wow, that guy has no game, even if you flopped on it once. But
Yeah.
Warcarp.
Yep, that's me.
Well, before we start that, if you're somebody you know, what? No, just kidding.
Oof.
It would be funny if I just sit here and let you stew forever, right? Or if I just like kicked you out of the call and made you watch the end of the video. All kinds of funny things. I mean, not like you would. You just skip to the end.
Don't hold back. Just let me have it.
Okay, are you ready for it?
Probably not.
Yeah, you're right. Alright, if you were some... No, I already did that joke anyway.
Stalling.
Yeah, he was like the main like leader of the Soviet Union in like the 30s and most of the... actually, all the 40s, basically. Okay. Something I've said a lot this season is working on those B-level guys, right? It feels almost like you've done too much of that. Kind of like Hollywood in a certain way. Where it does feel like, you know, you're coming in with some wacky picks. You know, shoutouts to last season's Spirit Breaker, by the way. You know, you still get flamed for that to this day. But you coming in with some of the wackier picks. We're seeing like the Carp Timber Saw and things of that nature. And it does seem like there's almost a step lost with some of those A-level guys. And for a mid, that's a very important thing to have. Like, you know, I clown your Invoker a lot, but it's like, you know, there was like the match against the J-Bay Timber Saw where you were Invoker, where I was just looking at that and I was just gritting my teeth watching that. I was like, oh no, right? Like, you know, there are times where it does feel like you do come in with some of the mainstays. Ember Spirit, not so much. The Ember Spirit still seems very sharp to me. But some of the mainstays did seem like they've lost a step. So maybe, you know, a good thing to do and it is good to have a diverse pool. It is good to have a big roster. But maybe between this season and next, if you choose to play in another season, work on those, like some of those carp fundamentals, work on some of those, you know, void spirits, work on some of those invokers, work on some of those like A-list guys. Try to bring them up into shape, because it seems like, you know, your invoker is getting a little flabby. I just saw him drop a 5-pound dumbbell, and bro, that's kind of not what you want to see. What do you think of that?
In defense of that Invoker game, I went Quas Wax instead.
Yeah,
of
I know,
Wax.
but if you were not out of invoker shape, you wouldn't have done that, right?
I mean, I guess.
If you or somebody you know wants to learn Dota 2 at a casual or more competitive level, go to ld2l.gg to sign up today. It's too late to get into this season if the fact that bracket is starting in like a day and a half from now. Didn't give that one away. But in-house season just around the corner. Season 18, you never know when that's starting up. LD2L.GG, go to that Discord link. That's where all the fun is at. And we'll see you this Sunday with a repeat of the Snakebit Week 1 game between Wizard and Space Cowboy. You don't want to miss it. There's also going to be a super special guest commentator, which I've already given away in general chat. So if you like casts from people whose names rhyme with Princess, there you go.